Hi, my name is Mrs. Painter. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I make my green smoothie. The only fruit that's going to be in this smoothie is a lemon, so try to keep it as low carb as possible. But the first thing I'm going to show you is how I do the aloe vera. Aloe vera is a superfood, and you can always Google nutrition facts aloe vera to figure that out for yourself. But let me see if I can angle this camera down so we can see what I'm going to do here. Alright, so we have our aloe vera here. You can see it's got some spines here on the edge. First thing we're going to do is take these off because they are very pokey. And the thing about aloe vera is it actually has latex in this green part, so we want to get rid of all the green. In fact, you can actually see here some of this yellow is the latex coming out on my cutting board, so we're going to want to make sure we miss that. In fact, I'm going to give this a little rinse here to get that yellow part off of it. Because we do not want to consume latex. It's not really meant for our systems. This is easier than you might think, especially once you get those spiny parts off. But I'm just going to do it like this. Really just pierce the skin all the way down. And then I'm going to cut here. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Just take a little cut here. And sometimes you can actually peel this a little bit. I'm just taking the skin off. I know a lot of people have shown some interest in how I work with the cactus here, with the different cactus projects I do. While I'm doing this, I'm going to talk a little bit about the ingredients that I'm putting in the smoothie. I have some things that I've gotten. My favorite supplier is Mount Hope Wholesale. And one thing that I have that I'm adding into the smoothie is going to be mesquite flour. It's not really a true flour. It comes from a bean pod that the mesquite tree makes, and that grows wild here in the desert. Another thing that I'm going to put in my smoothie is bee pollen. I also got that from Mount Hope Wholesale. Another thing I'm going to put in my smoothie is nutritional yeast. All these things that I'm putting in here are super nutritious, because my goal here is to have a smoothie that doesn't have a lot of sugar in it, but also has a lot of nutrition in it. So I'm going to put some lemon in there, and if you have a lemon that you got, from a friend, or say you grew it yourself, go ahead and slice it, throw the whole thing in there. But if you're buying a lemon from the store, you're going to want to peel that lemon, because commercial producers, any produce you see that looks perfect, doesn't have any blemishes or spots, that has been treated with a lot of chemicals, and we don't want to eat those chemicals. Alright, so you can see I've gotten the top layer off. That really wasn't that hard. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to literally peel this off of the remaining, I guess you would call it skin or outer layer. And you're going to be surprised if you've never actually done this. Aloe vera is actually kind of whitish clear. It's not aqua or green. We've got a little bit of the green left to get off, but check this out. This is not aqua or green. So if you're buying an aloe vera product and it's aqua or green, it's got colorants added to it. Another thing I'm going to put in the smoothie is celery. And I actually have some celery that I grew, and it's kind of going to seed right now, but a lot of times the aerial plants of vegetables are actually super nutritious as well. So we're going to go ahead and dump this in. I'm making a smoothie for 2 people. And we're going to put our aloe in. It's a little slimy, but it's super good for you. We're going to put our lemon chunks in. We're going to put a piece of ginger. Ginger is super good for you. And this apple, I actually grew this apple. Just going to cut it open and get rid of the seeds because we don't want to eat the seeds. So we have a little chia seed. Chia seed is also really nutritious, and cool thing about it is it will actually thicken your smoothie, so you won't have like a really runny smoothie. Gives it a little more texture, makes it a little more palatable, I think. I mean, I guess different people like different things, but I'm making this for 2 people, so I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of the chia seed. Actually, I really bought that at the dollar store. Every once in a while you can find something really useful there. And I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of this bee pollen, or about that much. I mean, you could just dump it in there, but as far as portion control goes, it's kind of nice just to measure it a little bit. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of the mesquite flour. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, and you could use, you know, however much you want, but so far these portions have worked really well for me. And if I buy a product and it actually has a nutrition label on it, I'll put it on my container so I can see what the nutrients are. But again, all these ingredients, you can actually just Google it and look up nutrition facts. You'll be pretty amazed by how much nutrition is in these things. All right, and the last thing I'm going to add, actually 2 last things, I am going to add a little water, probably about a cup. Well, actually I think, well, yeah, about a cup. If you're using stuff like, say if I used grapefruit instead of lemon, that has a lot more liquid content, so you probably wouldn't need as much water. But the last thing we're going to add is kombucha, and this is a fermented vinegar made with a SCOBY, and sometime we'll do a video on how to do that, but I'm just going to dump a little bit of that in, and this is a great way to get probiotics naturally, one of many ways. Alright, this part is going to make a little noise. Let me turn this around so you can see my Way Cool blender. I don't always spend a lot of money on stuff, but let me tell you, this Pampered Chef blender is worth every dollar I spent on it. It was expensive, but it's totally worth it. So let's just go ahead, we're going to turn it on, put it on the smoothie setting. It's going to be a minute exactly. So we are done blending our smoothie, and what really makes this as far as flavor goes is the lemon and the ginger. The lemon and the ginger cover up any bitterness that you would get from the celery. The celery that I grow here, it's not quite like snacking celery. It tends to be a little drier and a little more, I don't know, has a stronger flavor to it, which isn't bad, but I mean, it's still just as good for you. And this actually worked out really good. We've got 2 servings here. All right, let me just take a drink of this so you can see that it's not poisonous. Pretty good. A little heavy on the celery this time, but actually pretty good. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I make a green smoothie. You could add like a little more citrus to it, or mango, you know, if you absolutely can't handle not eating something that's sweet, but that's pretty much it. There's my vitamin for today.